man, look at that. That's a great panel there. On this channel, you know I'm a big fan of obscure comic books, manga, anime. And this, to me, seems like a pretty obscure one. Pretty obscure manga. Even though Viz did technically print this. I can't believe that this sold very well. This is a series I had never heard of before. I actually found it through its anime. And I guess I can say that I found it on my own, even though with the internet there is always that influence part of it where you just come across and you go, that seems interesting. And I'm going to put some scenes from the anime in the video because I think the anime is super gnarly. At least the first issue is. It kind of falls off after the first issue, or the first episode, excuse me. It kind of falls off, but the first episode is like an hour and a half or so, and it's really, really cool. And it feels very obscure when you're watching it. It feels very like, I don't know. It's not, your Dragon Ball Z or whatever. So let's take a look at this. This was printed in 93. At least Viz printed in 93. I don't know when the original series came out. I'm also not certain when the anime came out either, but it was definitely in the 90s. So we open up with this really awesome, like, we see that there's a lot of screen tone going on here. Great, interesting perspectives right off the bat, great establishing shot. It's a cyberpunk world. We know we're getting thrown right into this really, really interesting cyberpunk world. Basically, the story is about, like, there's these two sisters, and I don't want to get really into the story, but basically there's these two sisters, and one of them is, like, if I can remember, is, like, dead, I think, or on the run or something, and then they kind of, like, one of them gets killed, and then it, like, connects to this robot thing, and then it just basically just goes nuts. So, there's, like, an element of, like, it feels like kind of like there's, like, a superhero element to it as well. It's just a very absurd, weird, crazy story, like most Japanese comics or movies. I would know. I'm a big fan of, like, Tetsuo the Iron Man, and was it like Pinocchio 964 or whatever? Obscure, weird Japanese, stuff. Really, we're not in the world of Kurosawa anymore. We're now in that weird world of just absurdity, and I'm gonna say I love the art here. It's really cool. It doesn't feel very Japanese. It feels more kind of like influenced by, like, European artists. Very similar to how Otomo is inspired by Mobius. But there is that Japanese element still there. So it's really cool. This is the kind of stuff I like. And I can definitely see why Viz would have printed this for an American market. I don't believe it did very well, because I had not heard about it. Really interesting stuff, very off the wall, bizarre stuff. I really dig that. Just great panel decisions, great compositions. There's no panel that's similar to other panels. It's somebody being very, very creative and kind of just doing their thing and not worrying about whether an audience is going to like it or not. And that's what I really dig about stuff like this. I mean, look, man, that is really great stuff. I love that perspective and how in the foreground you have this figure kind of latched onto the ceiling. You get beautiful speed lines. It's got everything that you want in a manga. And that's the thing, is, like, I feel like there's so much, like, I love the use of screen tone here. Just like, I feel like it was used more sparsely in American comics, but in Japanese comics, it's like really a main component. And I really, really dig that. More speed lines, a lot of action, a lot of movement. And then you get this great panel here revealing the cyber robot thing. And in the anime, there's I feel like the story is a little bit more established, and it goes a little bit deeper, and then it becomes like this weird episodic kind of campy feeling. So if you can, I know there's a Blu-ray that you can pick up because I have it, and I would advise just watch the first episode. You don't need to pick up the Blu-ray unless you want the entire series, because there is some really cool animation, but you can definitely see the quality really go down. I love what he's doing there with using that texture to kind of get that very metallic feel, but also that beautiful anatomy within that metallic feel. Man, I really, really dig that. Beautiful panel there. Just a guy who's so, like, brilliant. I don't know of any of his other work. I didn't even say his name. Tony Takazi? Takazaki? Yeah. But very cool artist. Kind of at the top of his game. Sorry, I butchered his name. It's very difficult to be able to read while also looking at the art with a microphone in my face and a camera above me. So sorry if I mispronounce names, but just check up check out or look up Genocyber, and you will find it. I'm not familiar with his other work, but he is a really, really great artist. I love his inking style as well. Not being afraid to use a lot of blacks, not afraid to use speed lines and hatching and screen tone. Just really, really great stuff. I'm not sure if this series was ginormous in the 90s or whatnot. I love that shot right there, looking down. That great perspective of that head. Really, really cool. I love that panel too. Really great at drawing people, you know. I don't know how much time he put into this, but just a guy really on the top of his game. I love how he sort of just kind of leaves that background blank and lets you do the lets you use your imagination of what that room. He could do all kinds of, like computer stuff and hardware stuff in the background, but he's not doing that. He's kind of letting your mind do the work. It also could be that he was strapped for time as well, which is a possibility, but yeah, man, I mean, I do love how, Japanese creators are very into kind of this futuristic feel, but how they don't look at the future as being sort of, I mean, they look at it as being like inevitable, but also it's something that, like, if, if not done right, if not looked at in the right way, it can get out of control. And, it's really cool. I love looking at that perspective. I know that's like a common perspective with a lot of people, but with Japan, they really, really kind of delve really deep into it. It's not surface level. It's very, very deep. And man, I love that panel, by the way. Beautiful panel there. I also love how this is on what feels like newsprint. I don't think it's actually newsprint, but it's not that glossy shit. I feel like if this was printed now, it would just be printed on glossy crap. But beautiful architecture, kind of like an Otomo. Great figure drawing, great expressions. Just really, really... We have no idea how good we had it back in the day. There is some good manga that still comes out, but man, I don't know. I feel like the 90s was like a magical time. It kind of feels like it was where everything started to come together, and then the 2000s is where it started to kind of fall apart. Beautiful, beautiful panel there, man. Just, and I love what he's doing, like with the night sky there, you know, with the clouds. Yeah, I am a massive, look at that, beautiful panel there. I am a massive fan of this. Um, yeah, I'm probably gonna pick up the other two issues at some point. And the other thing that I like is the quality of drawing has not gone down. It's just as good as it was in issue one. And I mean, close ups of that, beautiful hatching there, you know, just doing it all from an inking standpoint. And look at that. Really, really great. Very grotesque kind of robotic look, you know. It's this terrifying, like, fear of, you know, like I said, how things can absolutely get out of control. Horror element to it, which I love, you know. Just a really, really stellar comic. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just beautiful. Really, really going crazy with the ink there. I mean, I feel like these pages are like, and it's like he's drawing like this, he's creating like this hellscape, and it's very dark and very, like, the brush is really kind of singing in these panels. More great action. Nothing looks stiff. It all looks great. It all flows beautifully. Yeah. And I love the way he does, like, the textures for, like, the helmet and, like, the lighting that he's doing. It's really great. Awesome stuff. Geno Cyber. I am a huge fan of this. The manga looks great. And the anime, like I said, I will put a little bit of like a snippet of a scene so that you can kind of see if maybe you'd be interested in it. Really cool stuff. I think it's something that's kind of left behind. And it's really a shame, you know, that there's that there's manga like this that just kind of disappears into the ether. At least for me, it did. And I'm so happy that I picked it up and found out about it. And yeah, it's really great. Awesome. Just beautiful comic. So that is Geno Cyber, and I will be back with something else in the future.